So, an old friend had posted a photo from about 50 years ago, and I saw myself as a young man at that age, and I was skinny as a rail, 130 pounds. I'd been in the service already and was back, and I was long haired, and the photo was showed I was in a forest preserve in the Chicago area with some friends, and it reminded me of that time back in the early to mid 70s. And I remembered something that happened during that time frame with a friend that never had occurred to me, some of the implications of it. Uh, by the mid 70s, I was had already been in the Army, been to Vietnam, and came back. And my return from Vietnam had landed me in the hospital for about 5 months with what was labeled a nervous condition. And most of my friends didn't really ask the reason for my nervous condition. I think they all sort of assumed from the things they'd seen on the news about Vietnam. Uh, anyway, I was never a violent or a fighting person, but I had this occurrence happen with a friend whom I will call George, just for the sake of giving him a name. And we had a disagreement over something that was really quite small, but he was angry about it, and he threatened to right the wrong that he felt that I had done him by vandalizing my car. He said, sugar in a gas tank will wreck a car, and I know where you park. And I remember taking his threat seriously and turning and looking at him, all 130 pounds of me, and saying, you had better hope that nothing happens to my car, because if anything happens to my car, you're going to pay for it. And that was the end of the discussion at the time. And the dispute didn't escalate from there. It went away. And I don't know what it was that turned George back from his threatening. If it was simply that he realized that the banter had gone too far by my reaction, or if perhaps he looked at me and said, Tom has been to Vietnam and spent time in a psych ward as a result, and I have no idea what he's capable of. And that thought struck me as like, oh. He wasn't afraid of me, he was afraid of the myth of me. That really struck me as an interesting thought. So I just thought I'd record that thought. That's interesting.